General Electric is going to freeze pension plans for about 20,000 U.S. employees with salaried benefits. The company is making the move to cut debt and reduce its pension deficit. Joining us now, CFRA Director of Industrials Equity Research, Jim Corridore. Jim, it's great to see you. How concerned? I mean, there's already so much concern about GE's balance sheet, right? Does this add to that concern, or does it actually alleviate it that they're taking this step?
Yeah, for us, it alleviates that concern. What it shows to us is that GE is looking under every rock, turning over every stone, trying to find every little lever that they can pull to get their balance sheet health improved. This is actually going to lead to a $4 to $5 billion decline in net debt. It's going to cut their pension obligations by about $5 to $6 billion. Not a huge deal for a company this magnitude, but just another little sign that the company is doing everything it can to improve its balance sheet health.
So why should we not be concerned as well about the fact they're going to offer 100,000 of the current pensioners a buyout so that they don't have that obligation? And what is the grand total for their unfunded liability going forward? Because we don't know who's going to take the buyout or not. Isn't it like $20 billion?
Yeah, in general, a buyout is not something that's unfavorable to the company. If the pensioners do take the buyout, of course, there is an upfront cash payment that will need to be made, but it actually will make the pension liability fall at a faster rate. So there's an offset there that actually usually benefits the company. It's usually not generally a good idea to take the buyout for an employee. It's not to their benefit. In terms of the unfunded pension liability, yeah, they have about a $30 billion unfunded liability that they will get a little bit smaller over this, but it's not something that has to be rectified immediately. They have pension funding requirements for 2020 and 21 that they're going to pre-fund this year, so they won't have any concerns over the next 3 years for immediate more cash contributions. So they have more time to get the balance sheet in order there too.
Jim, let me just ask you. You alluded to this a little bit in your last answer there, but what about the employees? I mean, are they left holding the bag here? I mean, shouldn't someone really be looking out for them?
So first of all, GE froze its pension plan to all new entrants in 2012. So this only affects those employees that have been with the company prior to 2012. They will have their pension funded up through the end of next year, through December 2020. At that point, GE will be offering a defined contribution plan where they will match up to 8% of employees' contributions. So they're not leaving employees left in the lurch. They are still going to have a pension plan that is a 401k plan that is actually very generous. And this is something that employees should have been prepared for, because companies don't offer defined benefit pension plans much anymore. And this is just GE moving with the times.
Jim, I was talking to several sources this morning, and despite this news, a liquidity crisis at GE for 2020, at least in their view, has not been removed from the table, despite the news today. Convince me otherwise.
Yeah, first of all, GE has generated $38 billion in cash from recent sales from Wabtec, from other things. They are selling their part of their biopharma unit. They're going to generate more cash there. They are cutting debt, which is going to reduce interest expense over time. They have cut the dividend, which has cut expense for dividends by about $5 billion. They're doing a lot of stuff right now. They have other levers that they can pull. There's other assets that they can sell. And the business on the power side should be improving. Their cash flow should turn positive sometime next year. So they are moving in the right direction. There is still a lot to be done at GE.
Well, a lot to do, and is the clock running out? Because, and I want to bring up something, we had Mr. Markopoulos in here about a month and a half ago. Does this move that they're making add credence to his statements about the accounting problems at GE, or does it add credence to what GE said, which was pay no attention to Markopoulos?
So it's somewhere in between. This is not a move that has anything to do with GE's cash requirements. This is a small move today that's not going to really make much of a big deal. GE does have tests, accounting tests, and goodwill tests that are coming up later in the year, which may lend some credence to what Mr. Markopoulos had been saying. But it's our view that GE can manage these things that are well known, and they're not revelations that he brought to the table. They're things that GE has been talking about. They've been much more transparent in their accounting than they ever had been under Jeff Immelt. So they're moving in the right direction. There is a challenge, definitely. They have cash flow challenges, they have debt challenges, they have some businesses that are moving slowly, but they are making a lot of steps that are moving the company in the right direction, we believe.
Jim, thank you. Jim Corridore of CFRA. Appreciate it.
Thank you.